In October 1989, Works Civil Construction won the contract for the first stage of the Seaview Marina here in Wellington Harbour. In early 1991, it won the contract for the second stage. The first stage of the $12 million project for the Lower Hutt City Council involved the construction of two breakwaters, one 450 metres long and the other nearly 200 metres long. Construction of a large boat ramp was also part of Stage 1 development. The second stage of the project involved dredging of the Marina Basin. The dredged material was used to reclaim about 4 hectares of land for hardstand. On the surface, that may sound a simple enough project. However, with 90% of the structure underwater and exposure to the extreme wind and sea conditions, the project was both complex and challenging. Until the breakwater was built, construction was carried out in exposed conditions, in depths of up to 7 metres. Special mooring systems were needed for all the marine craft involved, and there was a need to keep an ever-watchful eye on the changeable Wellington weather. The weather and sea were only a minor obstacle compared with the area's geology. For a start, the seabed is very weak. It's an alluvial silt, and that means that if construction isn't carefully controlled, then the risk of collapse increases. It also means that it will settle a lot after construction. So, the whole process had to be carefully carried out and monitored. The first step was the excavation of the breakwater toe and filling of the trench with core material. This design feature helps the stability of the structure. The excavation was carried out by a clamshell excavator working off a barge. The second step was the careful layering of bulk fill using a hopper barge. The breakwater structure had very flat sides to assist stability, but it meant grooming was outside the normal reach of a crane operating from the surface. Instead, this was carried out by an excavator working off a barge. The third step was to place filter fabric on the exposed side of the breakwater. Filter rock was then placed over the entire structure. The next step was the addition of armour rock right across the breakwater. Large rocks, weighing ½ a tonne apiece, were specially quarried at Collingwood and barged across Cook Strait for use in the project. The fifth step was the combined layering of armour rock on top of the crest, ranging from 250 kilograms up to nearly a tonne. After allowing the structure to settle, we're now doing the final layering of the larger sized armour rock. The first stage also involved the construction of a large boat ramp, 36 metres wide. Precast planks were placed underwater and then concrete was pumped underneath to cement the structure. A floating jetty system was installed on each side. In addition, this new beach was created by the construction of the 2 underwater bunds, which acted as a sand trap. The fill comes from the dredged sands. Stage 2 of the Seaview project involved 2 new land reclamation areas and the use of the cutter suction dredge to dig out the inner marina to the uniform depth of 3 metres. Hard fill was placed on these reclaimed areas, followed by base coarse material, and in some places a chip seal. In areas where rock was encountered, particularly on the eastern side, temporary bunds were constructed to allow access for excavators and trucks to remove the material. Because the majority of the work was underwater, quality control of the project took on a whole new dimension. Machine operators had to be carefully guided when placing material underwater, and the systems in place for checking the accuracy of this had to be precise. State-of-the-art rotating lasers were used to emit a laser beam, which was picked up by a handheld device. it fixes exactly where the plane is, and the relative plane is measured from that point. The traditional methods of surveying were used too, but in this case, pencil floats were used to fix position, in the same way as traditional markers. During the project, the full-time survey crew worked from their own pontoon to fix positions and to check on construction work. The soft sediment on which the breakwaters are built means the structure will continue to settle by up to 1.5 meters. With this in mind, piezometers embedded 14 meters below the seabed level measure the pore pressure, which will indicate just how much the entire structure has stabilized. The Seaview Marina project was notable for the amount of heavy machinery involved, more particularly the amount of marine craft involved. At the height of construction, there were 2 loaders capable of carrying the entire contents of a conventional truck in their buckets. There were 3 dump trucks, 3 long reach diggers, 3 standard reach diggers and associated equipment. On site during the project were 4 barges and 2 tugs, not to mention the Armour rock transport operation across Cook Strait, which involved a number of barges ranging in capacity from 1,000 to 3,500 cubic metres.
And the result of all the hard work is clear. Today, the Seaview Marina is a world-class facility. Up to 480 floating berths plus 80 fore and aft moorings. Haul-out facilities including travel lift and hard stand area. Launching ramp, full water and electricity amenities, fuel jetty, dry boat storage, security, safety, generous parking and excellent road access. Seaview is a staged development that will benefit boat owners throughout the entire Wellington region, providing a new focus for marine recreation. The floating berths and fore and aft moorings are available to boat owners on a lease basis. There are facilities to suit every type of craft, from a modest-sized motorboat to ocean cruisers.